Trader.com's Daily Brief. The answer to your question is learn the goddamn process, trade your trading plans, don't take too much risk on any one trade, and just let yourself get rich.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode. Today, we started on time, sort of. What do you guys think of the thumbnail? Actually, there's no one here right now. Oh, one person. Hello, Saber. Yes, I am live and talking to someone, unlike last week where I talked to myself for 45 minutes and had to do a second show. Uh, look, a lot happened, obviously, this week. I mean, every week on the Trump train, which is what we're on right now, is interesting to say the least. We are all on the Trump train, and you never know where it's going to go. But what you can guarantee is that it's not going to be boring. By the way, do you guys like how since June 3rd, the SPX has been, it just doesn't want to go below this 200 period moving average on the 1 hour chart. But if we go to the daily, we always like to start with the daily. Right, and we're climbing higher. Still climbing, following my uptrend. This was the last kind of line in the sand. Could we drop from here? We didn't. And we're going to continue higher. Why are we continuing higher? Does anyone know why we're not dropping? Any thoughts on why that might be? The liquidity in the system will not let the market go lower. It's just not going to happen. It's not happening. We've got to we're going to keep pretty much moving higher, levitating higher. This is what happens when there's excess liquidity flowing around. China printed a lot. The U.S. is trying to push for more. We've got to hit these upper levels. So here's where I expect we're going to go. I've been talking about this for a while, right here. This is the 4.618. I know it says 1.618 up here, but that has nothing to do with, I'm going to get rid of that. There you go. This has been our roadmap since basically down here. I drew this back in probably end of April, around here. This was our roadmap right here, showing us 1.618, 2.618, which we paused at, and now the move up to 3, and then 4.618. That's kind of the final zone. And we're just following that path. And if you followed this plan that I've been talking about for weeks, you should be doing pretty well right now. We're going to talk about it with Bitcoin too. It's been almost the same thing. So I'll be going over that as well. Bitcoin's looking good. I wouldn't short it here. I wouldn't short Bitcoin, and I definitely would not short altcoins. BTCUSD looks like it's finally getting ready to maybe break down. It's struggling a little bit here. There's going to be some resistance, but eventually it should roll over once Bitcoin kind of stops moving up and stagnates a bit. All right, so I'm going to stick to the S&P. We'll go through the S&P, and then we're going to touch on a couple stocks, and then we'll go into crypto. You guys know the drill. You guys know what I do. It's kind of the same every time. Maybe I should mix it up just to confuse everyone, but So looking at a higher time frame view, let's go to a weekly chart. We do have a 7 on the weekly, so a little bit concerning there. Maybe we have a big pause and we sit here for a while. Keep in mind, these targets are not time frame based. There's no time frame here. This is eventually they should hit, but we could sit at these levels for a while. Could even have a pullback and then move up. Eventually they should hit, as long as this liquidity keeps moving higher. It's easier to show the M2 on Bitcoin. It kind of lines up a bit better. But I think it helps paint the picture the way I want you guys to see it. And you can see how, look at that spike. It's not stopping. Why is it not aligning the way it should be? It is supposed to be an 82-day offset. Why is it's not lining up? Oh, here we go. Okay. There's what I want to see. Okay, so there's kind of your offset, and you can see how it just keeps going higher, right? Non-stop, move up. Let's see if we can kind of line this up a little bit better. Yeah, something like that. But this is not going to tell you exactly where price is going to go. It's just, are they still printing money? And they are. It's non-stop pushing money into the system. And look at the previous times money was pushed into the system. Going back 2023, you can see this spike. How much was this spike? It's at 67%. It's just an arbitrary number, keep that in mind, but we're just looking at, this one was 25. But this one, I think was, yeah, so this one is, it's maybe, so 25,000. It's comparing it to Bitcoin. So maybe we just look at the numbers. And then this one's 30,000. So similar to here. What happened here? We had a huge, Bitcoin went up. Bitcoin more than doubled with this surge. And then we had the pullback. And then eventually we had the next surge right here. And then we had the big surge here. And now we're having an extremely big money printing surge. And that's kind of what's, if you're like, why is the market not going down? Why is it not pulling back? Well, that's kind of why. That's a big part of why. Okay, let's go back to S&P. So you do have a weekly 7 that's come in. That's a little bit concerning. Although we could keep going higher. You can see how we broke out on the other side of the weekly. The MACD is very strong. Yes, printer goes burr. Right, that's right, Kevin. Hi, Garrett. Hi, Lori. Hello, Ucha. Good to see you guys. Feels so good to do a show actually talking to people and not just talking to myself. So 7, be aware of that. If RSI on weekly crosses, if the weekly RSI crosses above this 60 level, we could accelerate to the upside on the S&P. So another thing to keep in mind. Daily chart, as long as the RSI is up here in the 70s, I don't see any reason to continually short this market. I think you should lean on the long side. It's a lot more profitable to be on the long side. And it's just like a shallow pullback here. And we could get eventually another push higher, and then you create your divergence. And maybe we get like a triple divergence before it finally rolls over. But I would not be shorting this. And I've kind of given you the targets. The next target up here is 6,230. And then after that, we've got 6,600, something around there. And that's kind of it. I could go to these super low time frames, but it's not going to be useful for very long. And I want I want these videos to be useful for at least like 2 or 3 days. So that's what I'm seeing. I think it's a mistake to get overly bearish here, and just continue on the long side. Don't short. If you want to take profits, it's fine, but I wouldn't short. All right, so that's it for like higher time frame view. On a lower time frame, I really don't see much. It's kind of all noise. We can look at, let me, 1 second. Let's bring this over here. We can look at, for example, the OPEX, right? So pin is 6,000. So it'll probably be somewhere between 6,000 and 650, which is basically where we are right now. We're at 6,036. So that doesn't surprise me at all that we're there. And let's see if we got investor sentiment. 37%. Oh, this needs to be updated. 36% bullish, 33% bearish, and 30% have no idea what's happening. Pretty neutral across the board. We really want to see bulls up in like the 50% area before we can expect that the market has to reverse just because there's too many people are bullish. Right now, there's still a good amount that are essentially confused or bearish in shorting. This is crypto. I'll get into crypto later. Elon Musk and Trump kind of made up, right? Elon said he was sorry for what he said, and Trump is saying nice things again about Tesla and electric cars. So that means that we can take a look at Tesla again and decide, can we still be bullish? And it looks like we can on the MACD. It's looking bullish here. RSI, not amazing. I would love to see it higher. We did have a breakdown on the daily. Like this was a major breakdown. There was no way you could have even caught this. This was just boom. And it was responding to a news event, which was, Musk obviously saying everything he said about Trump and the Epstein files and all that kind of stuff. But now you can see things are trying to reverse. Trying. Show you this in the 2 hour. MACD is very positive. You kind of had a bit of a little W here. Nice gap fill. Tagged a 2.618 level, and we should push higher. I can look at what do the option markets say about Tesla. Still pretty bullish on Tesla. It says max pain is basically 315 to 320. They don't want it going over 320. Too many calls. Okay, that makes sense why it's rejecting from here. Yeah, I don't see it going much higher than that. It would be cool to see it take off. And it does look bullish on the 2 hour chart, but I mean, it could go all the way up to 350, but I really doubt it. Max pain is right in this area. There's too many calls here that likely want to get paid, and they're not. They're not going to get paid. It's just not going to happen. I can see that big rejection. They have to kind of keep it in the range here. I don't expect much to happen with Tesla until next week. And even the weekly is kind of range bound a little bit. 2 week is a bit bearish. Yeah, I want to see a reversal. I mean, 2 hour looks decent. The only thing that looks decent is the 2 hour. Everything else I'm not feeling as bullish as I felt. Tesla is not looking as bullish as it did down here. We're buying 230, 280, these areas. So that's my thoughts on Tesla. I don't really have targets. We're kind of in a no man's zone right now. But I am looking at, so something that I have been following still has been UNH. This fell off a while ago, and it recently had a 7 and 8 print on the weekly. So I would like to see a nice reversal. I mean, even if you just look at the range here, 38.2 is at 386. I don't see why it couldn't bounce to that. And we're on the 4th week. So normally option traders go out about the most, hello Hector, good to see you. The furthest they go out is, I mean, a lot of option traders only go about a month out. Like that seems to be the window. Like you've got the weekly traders, you've got the 0 DTE traders, and then you've got the monthly traders. And what I found is when markets make big drops like this, oftentimes the stock does not move for a month, just sits there. It's been about 29 days. So now that those 29 days, 30 days are over, it has permission to possibly move higher. So I like UNH, and I bought it here in this area around 295, 299, 300, all around there. And I'm looking for at least this gap fill to 385. It's not going to give you like massive returns, but still 18% would be nice if you have a large position. or you want to take a call trade, short-term call, now you can do the 2-week, 3-week, 4-week calls. And we can even kind of drill down and look at this range. See, okay, what happened here? What kind of targets can we give ourselves? Yeah, about 380 is 4.669. Oh. 4.618, sorry. 4.618 is basically at 380 area. So exactly where we want it to be. So yeah, UNH, I like it. It's another one. I bought this one called, I think it's called Sen. Sense. Yeah, I bought this one called Sense. Sensonic. But now I'm looking at it weekly and I don't like how it looks. I originally bought it when there was 7, 8, and 9 looking for a bounce. And it hasn't, and it seems like it might actually head lower. So maybe I'll cut this one. I haven't checked it in a while, but I don't like how this looks. Bearish, bearish. Weekly MACD is leaning bearish. There is a bit of a divergence here coming in, but overall RSI does not look great. Daily does not look optimal. And 4-hour also looks like it's trying to break down. So maybe I'll let that one go. I saw Regeneron looks interesting. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this. This is the company that made Ozempic. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but this looks interesting on like a 2-week chart. So if you fib this and you just go down to that level right there, which was the lows in March 2021, and you could even go lower. So you could see if you go all the way back here to 2019, we're hitting 78.6 level, which is a buy level for me. But if you decide you want to go up here, and this is your bottom, we're around that 88.6 level, which is also a buy level for me. This is all buy zone area. And it doesn't matter if I took it, I put the bottom here, or I put the bottom here. They're both essentially in buy zones. So the first thing I've got is location, right? So you need location, structure, momentum. First thing I've got is location. And then I've got 3 potential divergences on a weekly chart. I'm kind of missing, you actually had structure here. The beginnings of a potential W, and it just broke down. And I actually like that it broke down, because that probably stopped out tons of people that were long here April through May expecting a reversal, and it didn't happen. No reversal. So they're like, okay, let's drop it one more time, and then we can move higher. And I think that's kind of what happened here. And I think it looks like on a weekly it's getting ready to reverse and could potentially move higher. You can see how much it really dropped a lot from the highs, down like 58%. And I think they're working on Novo Nordisk is the company. Well, I know this company, Regeneron Pharmaceuticals, is working on a injection that works with Ozempic. While Ozempic makes you like lose weight, this will help you gain muscle by blocking apparently something to do with myostatin, your myostatin levels. It will block your myostatin. That's my understanding of it. I think it's interesting. But I like the location. I don't think market structure is perfect yet, but everything else kind of looks good to me. RSI has been sitting down here long enough. Should eventually reverse to the upside. So this is one that I like. Okay. I think that's enough for stock. I just gave you 3 different ideas. Let's talk about Bitcoin. Everyone likes Bitcoin. On a weekly chart, Bitcoin is printing a 789, which is concerning. Yeah, I don't like what I'm seeing there. Also, there's a bit of a divergence forming, so I'm not a fan of that either. Just like this. Not a huge fan of how Bitcoin looks on a weekly chart. It looks like it's slowing down, and we haven't reached that target yet. I would have liked to have been up here in the 120 area and watch this 789 come in. Now, it doesn't always work, right? You had it here in November where price just continued higher even though 789 came in. That can happen, but this is like a caution sign. Hey, don't bet the house on this. The daily chart seems like it's in a bit of an uptrend, but MACD does not look great. I want to see way more volume, a lot more of a push up. This kind of just looks like they're just creating liquidity with the price movements. It's just the market makers pushing the market around. That's all I'm kind of seeing. I do like the 4-hour here. 9 on the 4-hour. Good for a solid reversal. Also, I like that there's not that many people involved in the market. I mean, or my shows are really bad, but like 2 months ago, we had 35 to 45 people watching. Now we only have 15 people. So I'm not sure if my shows are just terrible or traffic has really dropped off in terms of people's interest in trading in crypto. Could be one of the two. But you can see on the 1-hour, Bitcoin looks like it's crossing over, wants to move higher. So I want to see it push above 112. And then once it does that, we've got these next couple stops, right? 3.59, 4.669. Those are basically your levels that you have to watch for. So just put them on your chart, and that's what you watch for. It's that simple. And we'll reject from each of these levels. Just like, boop. Oh, reject bet. Oh, we're gonna get it this time. Okay, 3.59, something like that, and then finally, and it'll tag it 1, 2, 3 times, and then head down. That's kind of what I envision here. And what I've been looking at for kind of weeks now. I'm trying to think, can I give you any other price targets or anything? But I think I made the plan pretty clear. If we break below this blue line I have right here on the daily chart, I think this is a 50-day moving average. I would be concerned. Yeah, 50-day moving average is a great support level. It's a great buy level. So this would have been a very good buy at 100K here the other day. Yeah, that's kind of all I have on Bitcoin. BTCD, I talked about a bit. I'd like to see it roll over. It's having a slight rebound here. You can see even on a weekly chart, like it's ready. It's just ready to roll over. It's only a matter of time now before it finally gives up and we can get at least, hopefully, a mini alt season. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Okay, we got others, which I talked about last week, and I'll talk about it again this week. This is the total market cap of all of crypto, excluding the top 10. So I feel like it gives a better viewpoint of what's going on in the altcoin world, altcoin/shitcoin world. You can see this red line. I expected price to explode higher. It didn't happen. I don't know if it's because of institutional involvement or there's just too many coins being pushed out, but crypto seems to be moving a lot slower than it used to. In terms of price moving higher. You used to get these huge rallies, and now it's kind of meh. So I think it's basing before it could hide higher. That's what I'm seeing. Weekly looks great. Daily or 4 hour, we're at support right here. So if it can bounce, it should also move higher. That's what I'm kind of seeing with others, and then that'll push all the coins higher. SUI, Sol, everything will get pushed higher if others pushes higher because they're all connected. Same with it, BTC rolls, falls off cliff. SUI, similar. Trying to reverse it here. So that's SUI. What other coins? I mean, obviously, TRI used to talk a lot about Rune. Rune's just kind of sitting down here, pushed up a little bit, but it's not huge like we'd want to see from something. It looks kind of dead. And I can't really recommend it here. I don't think it looks great. I don't like the price performance at all. Is there anything else that I could talk to you guys about? Honestly, I don't think there is. I think I kind of covered everything. Look at the S&P pushing higher. Just don't short this. You're asking for trouble if you're shorting it. I recommend going with the flow, sticking on the long side until that money, we see that money supply starting to top out. LTO. Okay, LTO. I mean, it looks kind of like everything else I'm looking at, where you had this daily breakout, and now we're retesting the breakout zone. And if this is going to be a bit of an alt season, then you should see price do this and move higher and complete this W, right, which gives you an upside of 0.05 from currently 0.03. It is much cleaner than most of the charts I've looked at today. I do like it. Good idea. Good contribution. Zerkella. Okay, Garrett asks, curious to hear your thoughts on BTRS Burst USD. BTR STU. Is this correct? BTRS TUSD. Yeah, I will talk about Riot. Noam Chomsky. Noam Chomsky. That's funny. Is this the correct one, Garrett? Looks pretty shit to me. I wouldn't touch this. Too much like shitcoin vibes. Riot. Yes, I can talk about Riot. So Riot is trying to push higher. It's still stuck in essentially this weekly downtrend since 2023, April 2023. Daily, obviously you have a 7 and 8 printing. That is an issue. I would be particularly on guard with my position and maybe even consider taking some profits here. I'm not saying it can't go higher, it could. Just saying this is the warning system that, you could exit a bit, take some profits if you're in profit, just to reduce your risk. I think it's a good idea. Right. I mean, this was kind of your range at the bottom, right? Not that far away to hit the 4.669 level. You can see how the 2.618 lines up. 1.618 doesn't line up that much. that well. You have like a slight tag here. The 2.618 is very clear, and then you've got the 4.618 at 11.4. So that could provide a little bit of upside, but I really don't like that there's a 7 and 8 here. That's an issue to me, and something not to be ignored. You could get a big pullback down to here, down to like $9, and then something like this, and then finally, lift off. That is a real possibility for Riot. Okay. Honestly, I don't really have much else to talk about. I think I was clear about my forecast for the next couple days, what I expect to see happen. Yeah, my throat hurts a bit from talking for some reason. So I'm gonna call it. How long did we go for today? It's like a little over 30 minutes. I will be in the Discord as always. If you guys have any issues or any questions, you can always submit a support ticket there. And also, I will, in about 12 hours, if you're in the Discord, be posting the summary of the show. That also includes kind of some of my buy/sell areas for a lot of these names in my little Discord channel. So look forward to that in about 12 hours once YouTube generates the thumbnail or the transcript for me, and then I can summarize it easier with AI. Also, my thumbnails are made with AI. Obviously, you guys probably know, but I think they look cool. They just take forever to do, like 30 minutes every time at least, because the AI always messes up. It's not like exactly how I want it. Okay. Anyway, be careful as always with trading. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Make sure to get away from the computer, exercise, spend time with family, so on and so forth, as always. And I will see you same time, same